Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissick and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissick.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey, Dana. Super excited. Today, we're going to talk about Donald Miller's new book, Hero on a Mission. I love Donald Miller.
Yes. And how cool was it that, this isn't even out until January 22nd or something in 2022. And we got whatever this is called, manuscript. Yes. I love it.
Yeah, his other book is called Story Brand or something.
Building a Story Brand. Yeah. And it's one of my favorites.
Yes, me too. I love it. So we were at John Maxwell and he spoke the other day, and I've always loved his stuff. I always felt like he was so good at marketing. Did he even say where he got that marketing background? I don't remember what he said or how he ever got into marketing.
I don't remember either, to be honest. I feel like he did, but I don't remember.
I know a lot of the great influencers I know give him credit for helping them build their story brand. So I think he's just kind of been known in the industry.
Yeah, he's got a great podcast too.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so what was the first takeaway that you got from Donald this time?
Okay, well, the main thing was just the breakdown of the characters. So anytime you're watching a movie, you always have the four kind of characters, but how he related it to us in our life. So the first one is the victim. And the victim is, I just want to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. The victim is the one who says, no way, we're doomed, all of that. And when you're a victim in your real life, it can actually ruin your life. Victims exist to make heroes look bad. They actually don't transform. They don't become a better version of themselves. They always stay a victim. The second character is a villain. And this is the one who makes others small or diminishes others. And usually it's in real life, jealousy, vengeance. They make a hero look bad, but that's about it. They don't really ever do anything else, but shame typically kind of has a lot to do with their lives. The third one is the hero, which most people would say that that's the one that they want to be. And then a hero is somebody that accepts the challenges to transformation to try and just go for it. They'll just get whatever it takes in the process and they'll just move forward and they'll make it happen. And then the fourth one though is the guide. And I thought he was saying guy at first, but it's actually guide. But the guide has been a hero in the past, and now they're turning around and helping other people win. And basically, period. The guides are just there to help people win. And so he said that that kind of wants at the background with that. But my first aha was life slowly transforms us as humans from victim to guide throughout our lives. If we do what it takes to get there and we realize that it's about helping people. And I don't know if you felt like this, but I could think in my head when he was going through these, people who were victims and people who were villains and people who were heroes and people who are guides just automatically. And I was thinking, man, that just makes so much sense. So that part, I think to set it up was kind of what he opened with, which was just really eye-opening.
Yeah. And he said, you can be the villain attacking your own victim.
Yes.
In other words, and I thought of that as our self-talk that we do to ourselves to, that to keep us from trying to live big or take challenges or do things that take courage.
Yep.
And when you really think about it like this, you see people that are stuck in these different categories that never get to be the hero and then move on to the guide.
Yep. I know. I thought that was really good.
And then he said, what if life is not meaningless? Just what you're doing with it is. I loved that. That
was good. Yep. I think he said he discovered that from a book, Man's Search for Meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read?
Yeah, by Viktor Frankl. Yeah, it's a great book. It's where he was imprisoned, and the only reason he said the people that died in prison died in that whatever they were in prison or whatever.
Yeah.
The people that died are the ones that had a date that they thought something was going to happen and then it didn't happen.
Yeah. I liked when he said that he thinks that we're trusting fate too much in our lives right now. We've let fate take the wheel, and we're actually much more in control of our experience than we previously believed. We need to take back control of our lives. And he said, what if we could control more of our life than we thought we could? And we just aren't doing it because fate is a terrible writer. And I was like, man, that's good.
Yeah, I love that. And then along with that, he said, what if God has shared agency with you?
Yeah.
In other words, you're kind of sitting around waiting for him to do it, but he's really got shared agency with you and waiting on you to do your part.
Yep. I thought that was super good. I mean, I have so many notes from him. This could go on and on and on. I really liked when he talked about vision. Hold on, let me find that. Let's see. He talked about that vision. He said, what is vision? It's what compelling thing are you trying to bring into the world? The more specific, the better. It needs to be super specific. But he said, oh, and this is another big one that I had, but he said, as a leader, other people won't be able to think of these things. They're going to borrow yours. You invite them into your story. You get them interested, you save lives, you invite top talent into a story, and they will work for free. They want to be on a mission. People just want to be a part of building something and being a part of something bigger. And then he talked about community with that. Who are the people that you're sharing your story with? And then like, who are you letting into your world? And do they want to work for a bigger mission and for something to build or to build something and all of those things? And that just I wrote down a ton of questions about that, just about the legacy that we leave. And did you remember when he said having no hobbies is not actually a good thing at all?
Yeah.
Adam and I were like, man, we're really screwed then. We have like no hobbies.
That's so funny. He also said a midlife crisis is you not writing your own script and someone else is writing it better.
Yep. I saw that. Yeah, I love that. This one was huge for me because I actually had a conflict happen in one of my offices when we were there. But I loved when he said, this is probably my biggest takeaway from him, actually. Maybe I just needed it right now in my life. When conflict happens or something bad happens, instead of immediately going into victim mode, he said to ask yourself, what does this make possible? Like, what can come from this? So if it's something bad and you're like, man, so-and-so just whatever, we just lost so-and-so or from my team or something like that. But really switch your mindset to say, what does this make possible? What can come from this? And I sent that question to a couple of people on our leadership team during a conflict. And it was so funny because it instantly switched our mindsets. And Linda, we thought of like all these things that could happen now because of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always say that to people all the time. When someone says to me, I'll say, like, I can't remember. I was thinking in the past when I've asked someone to, hey, have you thought about stepping up and being a leader? And they'll say, well, it's also screwed up or whatever. And I'd say, well, that's opportunity. Because if it wasn't screwed up, you wouldn't even get an opportunity. Somebody else would already be in that spot and you wouldn't have the opportunity. I love that though, because we do tend to, first thing I do is get mad that I'm in a pickle or a challenge and
that it's a conflict.
But if I turned it around and just asked myself, what opportunity does this mean? Or what does this, what opportunity does this open up? I love that he said, and this is so true, because I remember this from, this is a weak example of it, but I remember one time when I ran one marathon, I ran hundreds of half marathons, but I ran a full marathon. Then I didn't put my shoes on for 3 months. And my business psychotherapist at the time said, you should always have another goal behind a big goal because you fall like into depression and different stuff. Yeah. He said, what you have to be careful of is, and part of the midlife crisis could be you finished one story and you don't have another one started.
Yeah, that was my next little star I had here. And I think that's so good. He said, you will sit there and stare at an empty screen and it'll drive you nuts.
Yeah.
I thought that was so good. That made me think of, I don't remember, is it Michael Jordan or somebody says the worst day of your life is the day after you achieve a huge goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's so true. Yeah, I loved that. Let's see, gosh, what were some of my others?
What?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so here's one that says, when you can't find meaning, you numb yourself with pleasure.
Yes.
And he says, one, open story loop in your life. Number two, must be bigger than yourself. Three, you must embrace conflict that's going to go along with it. And find something in every situation that has meaning. And then the hero accepts that life is difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That actually led me to this last thing. This was during the Q&A, and I don't remember who it was, but a lady in the audience said she wants to be the hero, but she also battles being a victim because she just feels like things keep getting harder and harder and harder. So what advice would he give to her? And I wrote this down. He said, the challenges get more daunting, but you get stronger. Shaming yourself doesn't help. Just be self-aware about it and it'll change. If you keep putting yourself in situations where you have to transform, you're just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And that actually pulls you out of victim mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of hard to, yeah, I get that. That one kind of reminds me of the 4 C's that we talked about.
Yep.
You know,
Totally.
you put yourself into commitments that take a lot of courage.
Yep.
Because you ain't got time to sit around and sulk when you're trying to fight your way out of
Figure it
something.
out. No. Yeah, totally. I liked when he said, I liked when he said, what if is a really powerful question that we should start asking ourselves a lot more. He said that writers use it when they have writer's block because the story starts moving again when you ask the question, what if? And so he said, what if you got really creative and excited about your life? You don't experience meaning by studying meaning. You do it by getting into action. And he said, Jesus didn't say in the Bible, figure it out. He said, follow me, like get up and let's figure it out and make it happen. You have to get into action. You can't think about something in your brain that you have to get into action and move and actually do something about it. And a lot of times we get like stuck and we just think about things when really, if we would ask ourselves the question, what if, and then start to move again and get into action, things will happen quicker for us.
Yeah, I used to have a saying that always said activity breeds activity. So
Yeah.
just do something. It doesn't even have to be the right something, just start moving. But I
Do
think
it.
John also said it too. Action is traction. And I
Yeah.
think Donald said the same thing. Action. I listen for things sometimes between multiple leaders that I really admire for the
Yep.
same things to come out, because those are kind of, you know, solid truths that you can't ignore. Okay, my last one I'm going to give as we wrap up here, and then I'll ask for yours, is some people will not be able to think of a story. They will be excited to be a part of yours.
Yeah, I love that. Yep.
Make sure your vision is very specific. And that way, you know, people that don't have their own will be excited to be a part of yours.
Yep. I love that so much. My last one would be it's kind of tied into that, but he was talking about, he said, ask yourself the question, if you could take the hardest season from your life and delete it, would you do it? And most people's answer is no, they wouldn't, because they learned something from it. They got something out of it. They were pushed to have meaning. And I was having that conversation on the bus with 2 of our friends that we met at Exchange, and both of them had separate stories. One of them, Tyler, when he was 8, there was an accident and his brother, who was 3, got killed. And he said, and yeah, it's very tragic. And he said and I don't know the details, but for years he really struggled with it. But he said that now that when Donald said that, he was thinking about that. And he said that even though, of course, he would, you know, love to have his brother, he wouldn't go back and change that situation for anything for him personally, because of who he became from that, and the help that he's been able to provide to other people, and just his mindset and all the things that he's learned and all that. And then I was talking with another one of our friends, Simon, who said he really had like an attack on his business a few years ago. And he said it wasn't just like a person. He felt like it was like I don't know, like just a really negative energy, just an attack on his business. And people were coming after all of his people and just like making up things. And he just said it was like a full on attack and he just could not break out of it. And so he said, you know, when Donald Miller asked that question today, he said, for a minute, I thought, God, that was literally the worst season of my life. But he said, now I look back and there's no way that I would have taken that back, because he said that forced me to be on my knees and like deep in my faith more than I ever had been in my life. And he said it completely changed his life, basically. I mean, his business and his life. And then he said, which I thought this was really crazy, and this is not funny, but the person that ended up actually being the one that was like very attacking on his business and stuff, like 12 or 13 months later actually died. So I told him, I was like, oh my gosh, you were like really deep in no, but no, it was just it. So I just liked the thought process around that, and actually really being able to think about the hardest season and what did we learn from it, and would we delete it from our lives? Because he said, even in the hardest situation, if you can find something that is meaningful, then you'll appreciate that it happened to you.
So true. I think, and I think about our, always sharing our story. I feel like we talked about in one of the last podcasts. Oh, well, no, actually it's this one, right? The guide. I feel like part of your reason you go through things is so that you can be the guide for other people to give them hope of whatever they're going through, that they can get through it also and come out the other side better.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. I love that. I just love what he just said. Just the guide is just there to help other people win, period.
Yeah. So Donald Miller's new book is called Hero on a Mission. Again, we got the manuscript, not really sure. I think it's going to come out in January. So
yeah, I think you can pre-order it on Amazon now.
Awesome. Great deal. All right. Great podcast, Dana. Thank you. Remember, if you have not, please hit subscribe below. And the greatest compliment you can give Dana and I is to pass this podcast along to someone else that you feel like might find meaning in our conversations. And of course, if you haven't, we'd love to have a review, or reach out to us if you have a question, comment, challenge, or an opportunity that you'd like for Dana and I to help you with. Reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. And Dana, I'll see you soon.
Sounds good. I'll see you then.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.